Hello everyone, today we are breaking down Season 3, Episode 6, Everybody Has a Plan Till They Get Punched in the Face of The Witcher. But before that, remember to like the video, helps out the channel a lot, and subscribe, and yada yada yada, let's get to it. We pick up where the last episode ended, with Dijkstra having a blade to Geralt's throat. As we know from the previous episodes, Dijkstra and Philippa have a plan for the Conclave of Mages, and now they are doing it. They have soldiers here to take the mages prisoner. Geralt tells Dijkstra and his men that taking mages prisoner in their own home is suicide. One of the soldiers responds saying many of the mages have already joined them. So it seems Dijkstra and Philippa were quietly making alliances with mages during the banquet we saw last episode, or even before that. We're now with Yennefer. She is trying to locate Tissaia and sees the sun coming up. Yennefer put a protective shield around the shed Ciri and Jaskier are staying in, but it will only last till sunrise, which is now. Yennefer fears for Ciri and has to go make sure she is alright. Yennefer is about to exit the room when she sees mage prisoners. She also sees Geralt's sword, which means he was also captured. Yennefer grabs his sword and goes through a secret passage to avoid the Redanian soldiers. We're now with Jaskier and Radovid. The two banged last night. Jaskier is still sleeping and Radovid is staring out the window. He hears a noise and enters the main shed where Ciri was sleeping. She is already gone though. Jaskier follows him in, believing Radovid duped him, that he faked all that love and affection for Jaskier just so he could kidnap Ciri. Radovid is hurt by this. Yes, he does want to take Ciri with him to Redania, but he did not fake his feelings for Jaskier. Those were real. We're back with Geralt, and we see some of the mages who were captured and some who decide to join Redania. The mages who were captured are wearing dim meridium chains. Dim meridium suppresses magical abilities, making the wearer like a regular human. Dijkstra calls these mages traitors, that they are Nilfgaard spies helping weaken the north. Remember, Dijkstra wants to stop the Nilfgaard conquest of the continent. They can't do that if these mages are spies. Philippa clarifies that not all are traitors, just Vilgefortz and his cronies, that the others are here to bear witness to his crimes. They put them in chains just so they would be more cooperative. Philippa and Dijkstra make it clear that they are not here to get rid of the Brotherhood, but get rid of the Nilfgaard traitors like Vilgefortz. Geralt knows Vilgefortz is a bad guy. He and Yennefer figured this out at the end of last episode. So Geralt and Redania are somewhat in agreement here. Where with Yennefer, she is going through the tunnels under Aretuza, where she meets Lydia, who is Vilgefortz's assistant. She is also after Ciri. She attacks Yennefer and has her pinned on the ground. Luckily for Yen, Triss Merigold is also in the tunnels and subdues her. Triss tells Yen of the coup that is happening. Yennefer says she has to find Ciri and protect her. People are going to be going after the girl. Yennefer tells Triss that with them, Ciri will find and fulfill her destiny. She then either kills Lydia or just knocks her out. It's not really obvious, so Yen goes to find Ciri and Triss is going to find Tissaia, hoping she has a plan. We're now with Tissaia. She is being escorted into the room with the rest of the Redanian prisoners. Sabrina asks Kira why Tissaia doesn't have demiridium chains on, and Tissaia replies saying she would have melted their faces off if they touched her. We also find out that Sabrina and Kira have joined up with Redania. Philippa says she shrouded Aretuza in a powerful binding spell, so this spell must also suppress magical abilities as well, which is why the other mages were captured so easily. Tissaia knows the spell Philippa used, it was actually something she created, so it seems she is not feeling the effects of said spell. Dijkstra and the rest of Redania start making their case that Vilgefortz is guilty of treason, being a spy for Nilfgaard, that they have accounts of Vilgefortz's portals from here to Nilfgaard, and that he is in league with Rience, a rogue mage. Vilgefortz wants to know what Geralt thinks of this. Geralt really couldn't care, but he thinks the accusations are accurate. Tissaia is in love with Vilgefortz and defends him, saying first Stregobor, now Vilgefortz, who will be next? It's really hard to accuse somebody of something when you just got done accusing someone. You need a good solid couple weeks in between. Geralt looks out the window and says somebody is coming. They are using fog to conceal ships. Vilgefortz says Redania is behind this to support their treachery. Dijkstra is quite impressed, saying he may have to give Applegat more money. Applegat was the royal messenger Dijkstra sent to have the Redanian navy meet them there. But we know Applegat never made it to the navy to deliver this message. He was killed. We see the people who have landed on the beaches. They are Nilfgaard soldiers. We can tell this by their armor. Vilgefortz tells Tissaia to break the binding spell, and she does. She releases all who were captured from the dim meridium chains. So obviously those people who were chained up are going to be pretty pissed and are going to attack Redania and the mages who sided with them. Dijkstra walks out of the room knowing this situation is going south, but he decides to talk some smack to Geralt first, saying if he's looking for the girl, he is already too late. So he is talking about Ciri. He assumes Radovid did his job. Well, he didn't. Geralt did not like hearing this and chases after him, taking out a few guards. Dijkstra says he will tell Geralt where they brought the girl and then does a sneak attack. Geralt was ready though and disarms him by breaking his arm, and then he breaks his leg for the lulz. Dijkstra still believes that the men on the boats are Redanian. He hasn't even considered the fact that they could be somebody else. Vilgefortz leaves the room where all the fighting is happening. Tissaia follows. She says they can get rid of the Redanians by trapping them in the tunnels below. She believes that is how the boatmen are going to enter Aretuza. Vilgefortz says no, that he is going to let in the Scoia'tael and they are going to burn this place to the ground in the name of the White Flame. So he is now admitted to being in league with Nilfgaard. Tissaia is heartbroken. She believed he loved her, but he didn't. He was just using her, getting her trust, and then betraying the Brotherhood. Tissaia meets the Scoia'tael and the Nilfgaard soldiers. We see that it is Francesca, Cahir, and Filavandrel's group. In episode 4, we saw them passing around a black letter. This is what that was about. The rest of the mages form up behind Tissaia, ready to protect Aretuza from these invaders. The mages put up a barrier, but Nilfgaard was ready for that. They have dim meridium tipped arrows, which go right through the barrier, striking some of the mages. You may be asking, why don't the mages just start breaking necks and force pushing and choking people with their magic? I do not know. Maybe there's a certain range you have to be in to perform said move. We are now with Ciri. She is wandering around the wilderness when Yennefer finds her. The two hug. We find out the reason Ciri left the shed in the first place. She had a dream that Geralt and Yennefer were dead. Yennefer seems slightly worried about this. Ciri seems to get things right with these dreams of hers. Yen says they have to get off this island. Ciri is worried about Geralt, but Yen says he will find them. He always does. And they head off towards the boats. We are back at Aretuza as the battle continues. A bunch of death is happening. Tissaia notices Francesca and that she is an elven mage. She decides to take her out and sends a Kamehameha at her. A Kamehameha is a powerful finishing move that requires a great amount of energy or chaos. Anyways, Filavandrel sees it coming and protects Francesca from the blow, and he literally blows up, covering Francesca in blood. Francesca is devastated by this. You have to remember she lost her baby last season, her brother in episode 1 of this season, and now her lover. She is down bad. Tissaia has to retreat a little bit. She used a lot of chaos with that attack. They tell Artorias to finish Francesca off. He is about to take her out when a knife is magically picked up and shoved into his heart. We see that it was Fringilla who is behind this. So Fringilla was believed to be dead by Nilfgaard, but we know she faked her death to escape her prison. Why she is still fighting for the side of Nilfgaard? No idea. She literally was imprisoned and was going to die of alcohol poisoning since she was a wine taste tester and all. She killed Artorias, her uncle, who honestly didn't do anything bad to her from what I remember. If you guys recall anything, please let me know, because they're making this seem like it was a real W for Fringilla, like this was a long time coming. Tissaia goes to Artorias and tries to take the knife out, trying to save the mage, but it is too late. He is too far gone to be saved. Fringilla goes to Francesca saying she has to fight. Francesca uses the rage she feels for losing so many loved ones and brings the fire circle thing down on everyone's head, killing people on both sides. Luckily for her, Fringilla puts up a barrier to protect them. So do the other mages. I think Francesca at this moment was ready to die, and she was fine with bringing everyone else with her. We are back with Ciri and Yennefer. They are still walking to the boats when someone sends a fireball at them. It is Rience. Rience is able to surround Ciri with fire. Yen says that his master wants Ciri alive. Rience says he has no master. The two did have a bit of a falling out since he found out Vilgefortz was working with Nilfgaard. But he is still there for Ciri, so he's not going to hurt her. Anyways, Yennefer says she is going to put down her sword. She sends it flying towards him though, where Geralt grabs it and decapitates Rience, killing him. Geralt tells them that Vilgefortz is the villain they were looking for, and that he brought Nilfgaard and Scoia'tael here. They need to get off the island. We are back at Aretuza where the fighting is happening. Cahir is fighting twins, and the twins decide to put their swords together like this to fight Cahir. I had to point this out because it is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Anyways, Triss finds Marty Sodegren and Istredd. They are going to break into the main area where all the fighting is happening to help Tissaia. We're now with Fringilla and Francesca. Fringilla is giving a pep talk to her, telling her she needs to lead her people. They are here because they believe in her. That is why Fringilla is here as well. How Fringilla knew that Nilfgaard and the Scoia'tael were going to attack Aretuza? No idea. I suppose it was just a hunch. Triss and Istredd break down the doors and start helping out the injured. Tissaia exits the hall looking defeated. Kira, Sabrina, and the others who align with Redania want to help fight. They don't want to see this place destroyed. Tissaia keeps walking. She has a plan of her own. We're now with Yennefer, Ciri, and Geralt. Clouds start forming around Aretuza. Yennefer knows what Tissaia is doing. She is summoning Alzur's Thunder, the spell of last resort. Basically, it harnesses lightning and sends it at opponents. Ciri can tell Yennefer wants to go back and tells her to. Yennefer then has an emotional goodbye with Ciri, saying destiny brought them together and how she loves her, and then calls her daughter, which is the first time she says it out loud. A very emotional moment. Yennefer heads towards Aretuza. We're back with Cahir. He finishes the twins off and takes cover. He meets with Fringilla, who he is surprised to see alive since Amir told him she was dead. She says, "No, I'm not dead, I'm just no longer confined. It's amazing what you can do when you think for yourself." So she is saying it is great not having to worry about Amir anymore. She has no boss. Yet she is helping Nilfgaard out still, so Cahir leaves the main hall to go look for Ciri. We're now with Tissaia. She is finishing her spell, and she throws lightning down upon them, killing a lot of Nilfgaard soldiers. Francesca and Fringilla are able to put up a barrier to protect themselves. The rest of the mages run out of the room. We're now with Istredd. He is looking for the Book of Monoliths. Now that they know Vilgefortz is the bad guy, they have to make sure he does not get a hold of it. Istredd finds it in Tissaia's room. Vilgefortz was waiting for him though. He wants something from Istredd. He sends the mage through a portal with the book. Clearly he has a devious plan for the mage. We're now with Dijkstra. He is still in a lot of pain from the broken arm and leg. A mage finds him there. He wants revenge for being put in chains. Philippa comes to the rescue though, saving Dijkstra and killing the mage. Philippa helps him up, and they are going to try and get out of this place so they can portal to Redania. We're back with Geralt and Ciri. They are heading towards the boats where Cahir runs into them. Ciri recognizes him right away. He is the one who captured her during the slaughter of Cintra. Ciri wants to take him on 1v1. She says he has been haunting her nightmares, and she wants revenge for what he did to her and her family. The two start fighting, and Cahir throws his sword down, saying he does not want to fight her. He then says that he did everything he was told when he took her during the attack on Cintra, but ever since then he can't stop asking questions. He is doubting Amir. He has discovered that he was wrong for what he did and says his life is hers, and she can take it. So Cahir has been having doubts about the Emperor for a while now, apparently. I wonder if his talk with Fringilla earlier this episode made him start to question Amir again. The Scoia'tael show up, who are after Ciri. Cahir says he will hold them off, while Geralt and her make their escape. We're back at Aretuza. Tissaia's hair is now white, and she has exhausted all her chaos using that lightning spell. The mages enter the room to deal with what is left of the Nilfgaard forces. Yennefer arrives here as well, but they are still outnumbered. Stregobor comes in to save the day though. As many of you know, he hates elves, and there are a lot of elves here. He taps into fire magic, which is something he always wanted to do. He interrogated Yennefer about it last season. He tells Yen he will buy them some time, and the rest of the mages run out of the room. So it seems he and Yen kind of make amends here. They both want the same thing, to save Aretuza. He starts setting everything ablaze, but once again Francesca and Fringilla use barriers to protect themselves, but at least he bought some time for the other mages. We're back with Geralt and Ciri. They are about to get a boat when Geralt feels his medallion vibrate, which means magic is being used nearby. He tells Ciri to go. He knows he has a fight on his hands. Ciri runs off and heads towards Torlara, which is a giant tower thing. Geralt pulls out his sword when he sees Vilgefortz. Vilgefortz is using a metal staff of some kind. It looks very dangerous. Vilgefortz tries one more time to recruit Geralt to his side, but once again he says no, and the two go at it. We find out that Vilgefortz was always holding back his real power, but today he is fighting at the max. He takes care of Geralt rather easily, breaking the Witcher's leg in the process. Vilgefortz leaves Geralt on the beach, beaten and broken. We see Ciri enter Torlara, and we see there is a giant monolith inside of it. So that means she can travel to another sphere if she has to. Vilgefortz finds Ciri. He sees that she is climbing towards the top of the tower. Vilgefortz wants to train Ciri. He believes he is the only one who can teach her how to use her powers. Ciri stares at the monolith. She can hear voices. She decides she is going to use it. Vilgefortz catches up to her and tells her to stop. She has no idea what she is doing. She keeps going though and activates the monolith, sending Vilgefortz flying, and the tower around the monolith gets destroyed. So she activated it and went to a different universe. We are back with Geralt. The tide almost dragged him out to sea, but lucky for him, Triss was able to find him and get him to safety, and that is the end of episode 6 of The Witcher. What did you think of the episode? Leave it down in the comments below, and if you want more Witcher content, please subscribe and like the video. Check out the Twitter link in the description below, and as always, have an awesome day.